Thank God 2024 is over. It's another year in gaming, and it's another end of year vid from me. I'll be looking back at how this year stacked up for gaming. Let's get right into things. What was Sony's Juggernaut up to this year? Well, it was only back in September when they revealed the unanticipated PS5 Pro. This beast boasted enhanced technical specs and a 2TB solid state drive, but to be honest, I don't think anyone gave a flying fook. That said, we did see one of PlayStation's most beloved horror franchises get a new installment this year, in the form of Silent Hill 2. It was met with rave reviews. I have not played it. On top of that, we very recently got another remake of a PlayStation classic, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. At the time of writing this, it hasn't even been released. That's how new it is. But needless to say, it looks banging. Snake Eater is actually a game that I tried to play earlier this year on the PS2, but I came up short. The camera was just bare annoying, and I quickly found out that the updated Subsistence version was the way to go. Last, but certainly not least from Sony, we saw a new installment in the Tekken series, Tekken 8. I, for one, haven't played it, but if you haven't guessed already, I don't own a PlayStation or Xbox, so anything above 720p is largely off limits. Sony's counterpart, the Xbox, has seen even less news this year, with no PS5 Pro competitor, but to be fair, I don't think anyone really cares about this current line of systems. Yeah, that's the scoop on Xbox. Nintendo, on the other hand, have been busy putting off a Switch 2 announcement with only rumours coming up like a damp fart. I do think, though, that when Nintendo does finally announce that lovely system, along with a new Mario, Kart, and dare I say it, DK game, there will be a collective sigh of relief as Nintendo leads the way once again. Did Nintendo see any mainline releases this year? Well, there was Echoes of Wisdom back in September. I really enjoyed the Link's Awakening remake, this being the sequel, but struggled to get into this damp dodge. Why, I hear you ask? Well, a mixture of things, as with most things in life. But for start and finish rip rap, Princess Zelda leans on so-called echoes to do all of her dirty work, so you end up, at least feeling like, a mere passenger. Not the Zelda I was hoping for. That said, I could go back in weeks or months and literally love it. Anything's possible at this stage. What else did Nintendo serve up this year? F all, really. It's been a damp year in terms of gaming. I guess we got a batch of remakes, but what's new there? Very little. So yeah, that's the brandy bits out the way. Next, we move to what I've actually been playing this year. This may shock a few, but I actually, albeit unexpectedly, picked up Tears of the Kingdom again this year. Yes, Nintendo's somewhat underwhelming follow-up to their 2017 masterpiece, Breath of the Wild.
Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
Tommy, no, you got it all wrong.
Oh, Anthony. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
You're right.
Funny how? What?
I just thought, hell, there were a lot of side missions I didn't do in Tears. And there's all but remakes to play at the minute. Let's dive in. And I did just that. I really enjoyed Tears second time around, going somewhat deeper into the game. Hell, it's a souped up Breath of the Wild. What's not to like with this one? Next, it was back to skateboarding as I picked up a copy of Skater XL from the charity shop. Now I know what you're thinking. Brent, you said you haven't got an Xbox. Got ya, I don't, but my housemate does. So yeah, I've played Skater XL before on PC, and in short, it's superb. Like, really, really good. It's basically a skateboard sim game. It is very hollow in terms of atmosphere, but gameplay-wise, excuse the Dutch, it pisses on the competition. Lastly, I weirdly played quite a bit of a multiplayer golf game this year, called Golf with Friends. Basically, my flatmate bought Game Pass, and we thought, who doesn't like a golf game? We dived straight into 3-player with Professor Zed, and yeah, it was a fun time. As for my collecting habits this year, I actually got the bug again a bit. I started to dive quite deeply into my PS2 list. Why? Because it reminded me of why collecting is fun. Picking up bundles with booming titles that don't break the bank. Over the years, my collecting has largely been focused on Game Boy and PS1, but those collections are so deep, it's mainly expensive titles that are now missing. So the PS2 has been bringing the love right back into it for me. What titles have I picked up? Here are my top 5 PS2 pickups of 2024. Predator Concrete Jungle. This is a game I've always been keen on picking up for the PS2. Why? It just ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's a movie game, it's an adult game, and it has some horror styling. Yes, there are elements of horror in the Predator franchise. Get over it. Legacy of Kain, Defiance. Now, I know what you're thinking. H, you're never gonna play it. I know, but that's besides the point. I'm a collector and I can't play every game. I fuck with this game because of its horror gothic styling. Go figure. Incidentally, we did see a remake of the Legacy of Kain games late this year. Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance. This was a game I didn't see coming. Hey, self-confessed MGS fan here, but for some reason, I just never thought I'd get Substance at a decent price, but then it popped up in a bundle. Happy MGS fan. Now, to find Snake Eater, Subsistence. The Punisher. Similar with Predator, this is just a title that ticked a few boxes for me. It's an adult game, it's dark, it's based on a comic franchise. To be fair, although I say I'll never play these games, that's actually not true. Jason, when's the next caravan trip? Tenchu Fatal Shadows. Ever since I copped the other Tenchu game on the PS2, Wrath of Heaven, I've been gunning for this game. It's the more expensive of the two, and now I've completed the Tenchu PS2 set. Now, I know what you're all thinking. H, since when were you a PS2 only collector? Obviously I'm not. So here are 5 other random pickups from this year. Normality. This is Normality's debut on my channel. It's a point-and-click game that I picked up on eBay for £28 all in. It's also a game that I remember fondly playing as a kid. I don't think I got very far because it was probably solid, but it's just an odd game. Cool if you've not checked it. Midnight Blue PS2 memory card. Random, but I actually set out to pick up the various PS2 memory card variants. Why? Because I thought they'd look cool in a deep frame with an LED light strip. The semi-transparent ones at least. Where am I at with it? Well, I pretty much have them all, at least the UK ones. This Midnight Blue one being the last and most expensive. I bought it for £15, which isn't a bad price, but is more than I thought I'd ever spend on a memory card. It would be mint to dive into the Jap ones as well, but Christ knows if that will ever happen. Galarians. I got a copy of this PS1 survival horror, Galarians, from Doncaster, which worked out at £30, and it's literally in mint nick, so that wasn't bad at all. I've not played it, and I doubt I ever will, but it's kinda cool. The Chaos Engine. This is a bit random because it's Amiga, but my mate Gex said he remembered it on that system, so I was weirdly comfortable with copping this particular port. It was £33.50 all in, on the bay, but it's actually in really good condition and comes with these sweet postcards. I don't collect Amiga at all, but I have like this and Mortal Kombat 2 box only. The Chaos Engine is a game I remember, but ultimately, it's that killer artwork. It's up there with the fucking best. I kid you not. It reminds me of Loaded. Really sick. Something I've noticed this year is like every game is getting a remake, and every game comes out with a collector's edition, and sometimes even like 2 collector's editions. It's a bit silly, really. I guess the companies are cashing in on that market, but ultimately, it will water it down for me. I guess the only takeaway is only invest in the things that are really special to you. Otherwise, you'll end up buying shit tons of rushed out collector's editions that, I don't know, are probably just a bit soulless. I've probably done more markets this year than any other year. I hit Doncaster twice, Leeds, Black Country, and Cardiff. What's my scoop? If you're a collector, the markets are bloody great because in my opinion, alongside eBay, you will find the best deals. I've often gone to markets thinking I'll probably come away with nothing, but I'm consistently realizing that market prices are very competitive and fair. Collector win. The most fun I had this year was at Black Country, and it was my first time there. Why? Because they had gaming tournaments running alongside the market. I love healthy competition, and that, blended with buying retro, is a lovely mix. Now, for my video this year is the what I'm looking for this year section. I'll list 5 titles and try to make these games that really aren't that expensive, but have just eluded me in decent nick for some reason. Obviously, if you have any of these, don't hesitate to hit me up for swapsies. Colin McRae Rally 3. How do I not own this game? Big Colin McRae Rally fan here, and this was the last one to just have a number in the title, rather than a year. Am I the only one that prefers that? When they become yearly, it just doesn't hit the same, like at all. Currently sitting in CX for a measly £1.50, but literally impossible to find in good condition. Pandemonium 2. Now, I've passed this up on eBay and Mintnick for £15 and I literally can't forgive myself. I love Pandemonium, it's just a cool PS1 platformer, but the sequel eludes my collection. I have a feeling that once I cop this, I'll come into contact with 1 or 2 additional copies. It always happens. Damn you reselling gods. Currently sitting in CX at 20. Richard Burns Rally. Big Colin McRae fan here. Another rally driver fronted rally game. Yes, please. Yeah, so this is on the list. Currently sitting in CX at £3. Manhunt 2. I just think this is a steal on Wii. Currently £6 in CX. That's it, really. It's Manhunt 2. It's a £6. Project Overkill. Well, this is sad. I think I remember this loaded-esque title sitting at around 20, 25. It's now 48 in CX. Like, off. This really looks up my street, so hopefully I can pick it up for like a quid at a boot sale or something. God. Anyway, guys, I've just waffled on for God knows how long. I think I've covered the year. Probably not at all, but I've done my bit. I've tried. Guys, have a great Christmas and a fantastic New Year. We will see you further down the line.